Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, October 30th, 2017. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves is calling for all hands on deck to help take this country forward. As he addressed thousands at the 38th Independence Parade at the Victoria Park on Independence Day, Friday, 27th October, Prime Minister Gonsalves warned of those he termed as apostles of doom and gloom who want to pull down the nation. He said that public policy is serious business for serious people and that unity, peace, and justice should be the watchwords of this nation.
In our citizenship is suffused a bundle of rights and obligations. I repeat, in our citizenship is suffused a bundle of rights and obligations. The selfish among us extol only their rights, but there are also binding obligations. Thus, to adopt and adapt the words of the American President John F. Kennedy, ask not just what your country can do for you, ask too what you can do for your country. The government, the community, along with the formal institutions of law and order, have much work to do. All hands must be on deck to cripple and destroy this unacceptable malignancy of violent crime by a few persons.
As expected, the Prime Minister used his address to announce a number of incentives, including concessions on Christmas barrels and further bursaries and scholarships for students. The Prime Minister also announced that 100 teachers who have graduated since 2012 will be appointed as graduate teachers as of January 2018, and that those educators who graduated since 2013 will also receive graduate teacher appointments over a 3-year span.
The problem is that we have been so successful in that regard that up to now, there have been insufficient graduate teacher posts in the establishment. So those who are not so appointed as graduate teachers have been paid a graduate allowance. But a significant number of these graduates, because they are close to or at the top of their current salary scale, their graduate allowance is small. I am correcting this. Thus, as of January the 1st, 2018, all teachers who graduated from university up to and including 2012, about 100 of them, and who have not yet been appointed to the graduate teacher grade, will be so appointed. There have been more graduates than the 100, but these are the 100 who have not yet been so appointed. Those from the graduating years 2013 onwards, who have not yet been appointed to the grade of graduate teachers, would be appointed in annual batches over the next 3 years until all of them are thus rightly so appointed.
Additionally, he announced that farmers who are leasing government lands will now be able to attain them fully. Several cultural and sporting ambassadors were also named. The cultural ambassadors are artists Lennox Dings Johnson, fashion designers Kimon Batiste St. Rose. The sports ambassadors are former West Indies cricketer Michael Findlay, Special Olympian Terence Davis, and netballer Delarice Duncan. The Prime Minister further noted that an official text on the history of this nation will be published and that a committee has been established to determine other national heroes.
Several dozens of farmers who are accorded leases of agricultural lands from the government will be facilitated to obtain full title for these lands. This is of particular importance to the leaseholders on the former Rabaka estates, but it is also applicable elsewhere. I have recently requested of the Honorable René Batiste, Chair of the National Heroes Advisory Committee, to submit their final report so that the requisite legal processes could be finalized for the appointment of other national heroes before or on National Heroes Day, March the 14th, 2018.
And many Vincentians were quite pleased by the display of the military and paramilitary groupings on parade at Victoria Park on Independence Day. But it was the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders who stole the show. Here's a look at the parade that took place at the Victoria Park.
And FN is
French National.
French National, yes.
In guard number 2, ESP Juliana Charles, who is a veteran now on these parades.
All female.
And the second in command, Inspector Bernadette Matthews. She's attached to the training school. This is an all-female police guard. What you're seeing now is they're passing the saluting days, which is where the GG, the Prime Minister, stands.
Seem now like a cross, a windmill. What is this one? Again, they're impressive. And we see the weather again, the sun. Clouds have come out and shield the sun, so the persons on parade, and
with the cultural, social, and religious education of children and teen. But any age, 10 plus, may join. And remember, yes.
Another staple in Christian worship.
So the team for this independence is working together to enhance national pride. The Pathfinders, 7 days Adventist Pathfinders. Well done.
Congratulations to the SDA Pathfinders. They did extremely well last Friday on parade. In other news, Vincentians have a patriotic duty to buy local produce, a process which has a positive effect on the economy. So said Minister of Economic Planning Camilo Gonzalez as he gave remarks at the opening of the inaugural Everything Vincy Expo, where a number of local produce and products were on showcase. Minister Gonzalez told the gathering that prior to the opening of the Argyle International Airport, businesses which relied on importing and exporting faced a number of challenges due to SVG's limited capacity. Gonzalez added that due to the opening of the Argyle International Airport, there are increased opportunities to export and encourage Vincentians to be mindful of the standard and quality of goods they produce.
We do have successes as a regional exporter, but we could have far more, because we know as Vincentians that we have excellent products, excellent business persons, excellent ideas in this country. What they need, those ideas and products and business persons, are your support and the state support in making sure that they become more viable. The days of making something in your kitchen and putting it in a plastic bag are gone. We need labeling, we need standards, we need economies of scale, while still maintaining quality and that Vincentian je ne sais quoi. But we have to recognize that today, this 38th anniversary, the advent of the Argyle International Airport, is the first day in a new chapter for Vincentian businesses.
Highlighting the positive effects a buy local initiative can have, Minister Gonsalves said the government and Invest SVG stand committed to assist local producers.
Have a patriotic duty to buy Vincentia. It lifts the economy, it creates employment, it does far more for you and your neighbor than importing an equivalent product from overseas and shipping it to your door. But we cannot be expected in a global integrated economy to buy substandard products simply because they are Vincentia. So our producers, our manufacturers also have to lift their game. The government, Invest SVG, stands ready, willing and able to assist in all of the myriad ways that are necessary to bring your products up to international standards, to make sure that it is not just a good product in Anna's Vale or in Georgetown or in Beckway, but it is a good product in the OECS, in CARICOM and internationally.
The Economic Planning Minister also took the opportunity to remind the local producers of the potential for business which exists on the regional market.
There are 110,000 people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not counting the tourists. There are 600,000 people, approaching 800,000 people, in the OECS. And there are 18 million people in CARICOM. The markets are there. The ideas are here. Invest SVG and my ministry are here to connect the ideas to the markets, both locally, regionally, and also internationally. I think you'll find that the products we have on display today are world-class and worthy of sharing not only among ourselves here, but across the country, across the region, and across the world. So enjoy, spend your money, and think of the glorious possibilities of Vincentian business in the years to come. Buy local and celebrate everything Vincy. Thank you very much.
And whilst congratulating all stakeholders for their involvement in the inaugural Everything Vincy Expo, Minister of Tourism and Culture Cecil Mackey said SVG has a lot to offer in relation to products and services. He noted that such expos create avenues for local producers to display their unique products.
I want to also take this opportunity to congratulate Invest SVG and all of the other stakeholders, the organizing committee of this activity. I think for many years, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have been crying out for not just one activity per year, but several activities where we can allow that opportunity to our producers here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to offer the items that they produce in terms of products and services. And I think we also accept the fact that we have a lot to offer in this regard here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are here today on what has already been an exciting month of activities as we celebrate our 38th anniversary of independence.
Mackey said the expo is a part of the beginning of exciting things to come, adding that he was quite impressed by the items which were on display.
So we have now a full month of activities that we have used to develop the sporting and cultural product of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I dare say by extension the tourism product of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Everything Vincy really says it all. You are here to visit the various booths, and I must say myself, I'm quite impressed with what I have seen on the inside and also on the outside. And if you agree with me, I want to ask you to put your hands together. This is the beginning of exciting things to come, because I have said recently and repeatedly, we are now having increased interest in destinations in Vincent and the Grenadines, and that started in a major way when we opened our RL International Airport on the 14th of February.
Representatives of Invest SVG as well as the Center for Enterprise Development highlighted where the idea to host the expo originated, as well as how the organizers are aiming to improve it in the future.
Our then Investments Promotion Manager, Mrs. Glenda Francois, and our Investment Promotions Officer, Mr. Andrew Phillips, accompanied the delegation of Vincentian exporters to a regional expo in St. Lucia. On returning to St. Vincent, we invited these same exporters to conduct a post-mortem of the event, and one of them expressed a desire to have a similar expo based here, which we thought was an excellent opportunity to stimulate innovation and entrepreneurship. And so, the Everything Vincy Expo was born. We took that idea, we developed it, made it uniquely Vincentian, and with the assistance of other stakeholders, we anticipate watching it grow from strength to strength.
This inaugural Expo, as I said, is just the beginning to something bigger and better. We will look for your consultation to make the next Expo, to ensure that we have ultimate maximum results. Invest SVG will pull out all the stops to give greater coverage, marketing for our participants by inviting international and regional buyers and stakeholders to our next Expo.
Thank all of the exhibitors. We have many of them here, and we have so many more businesses in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that could have been a part of this. We had the last minute inquiries this week. Lots of people coming to check to find out, can I get involved? Unfortunately, all the booths were gone. So we know next year, you look forward to this and you start planning, and we look to see more innovation, more creativity coming out through this Everything Vincy Official Expo.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines was one of several locations for banks allegedly used by former Trump campaign chief and campaign officials Paul Manafort and Rick Gates to stash and launder tens of millions of dollars. In an indictment unsealed on Monday, the grand jury for the District of Columbia has charged the pair with laundering $75 million in payments into foreign nominee companies and bank accounts opened by them and their accomplices in nominee names and in various foreign countries, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines. According to the indictment, Manafort and Gates owned or controlled 17 domestic entities, 12 in Cyprus and 2 in SVG, Global Endeavor Incorporated and Genet Limited, which were used in the scheme. Included in wire transfers caused to be sent by Manafort between 2008 and 2014 was a total of $1.4 million originating from SVG, described by Newsweek on Sunday as a prime money laundering destination. The indictment states that Manafort did not pay taxes on this income, which was used to make the purchases. In particular, to minimize public disclosure of their activities, Manafort and Gates arranged for more than $2 million to be paid to U.S. lobbying firms from offshore accounts associated with their foreign entities, including Global Endeavor Incorporated in SVG. According to the indictment, both Manafort and Gates, as U.S. citizens, failed to comply with reporting obligations to the United States in relation to foreign bank accounts over which they had authority, whether or not the accounts were set up in the names of nominees. In the 12-count indictment, Manafort and Gates are charged with conspiracy against the United States, conspiracy to launder money, failure to file reports of foreign bank and financial accounts, acting as unregistered agents of a foreign principal, and making false and misleading statements. They both pleaded not guilty to the charges. And the relevant authorities here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, namely the National Anti-Money Laundering Committee, the NAMLC, the Financial Services Authority, the FSA, and the Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU, issued a joint statement strongly denouncing the description of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as being notorious for money laundering and a prime money laundering destination. The authorities say they consider such descriptions linking St. Vincent and the Grenadines with money laundering to be uninformed, outdated, erroneous, and inaccurate, noting that there is no basis for such descriptions, particularly as this country is not on any international sanction list as a money laundering haven, nor on any other international sanction list. The authorities emphatically refute that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a money laundering jurisdiction, noting that, on the contrary, SVG has for several years been effectively addressing money laundering and financial crimes, as well as responsibly participating in international initiatives aimed at combating money laundering, the financing of terrorism, tax offenses, and financial crime. As it relates to the company referenced in the international media formed in SVG, the authorities say appropriate customer due diligence and customer verification procedures were undertaken. And note that even the most effective systems around the world sometimes may not prevent a criminal intention to commit fraudulent or money laundering activities. The statement further notes that since 2013 to 2014, and more recently in 2017, the relevant authorities and institutions here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been cooperating with the U.S. authorities in the investigation of the matter at hand and will continue to lend their assistance. The RSVG police force is carrying out investigations in connection with a report of unlawful sexual intercourse which occurred on October 9, 2017, and is seeking the public's assistance in locating Kezron Jacobs, better known as DJ Crismo. The Vincentian national is to be approached with caution. If seen, persons are asked to contact any police station or Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime at telephone numbers 451-2467 or 457-1211, extension 217, or the officer in charge of the CID Sierra MCU at 456-1810 or extension 216 or 220. Calls they say will be treated confidentially.